Hello. Do some stuff today. Couple hours. What am I looking at? Yeah, what else? Let's do this. Okay. What do I need to do today? Let's see. Section. What's it to do yesterday? Yeah. I really want to build something like this. Huh. Interesting. What? What about OBS? Like I was back. Ooh. What are you in? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, there we go. That was good. Build. What do I have? Let's focus on the topics page. Right now I have questions for some reason. I think they should be in the subtopics, not topics. Let me go into this real quick. Mine's still here. Oh. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's get started. Build. Okay. Featured collection. I don't understand about B0. 100 credits left. Like this. God damn it. Oh, whatever. Question box. Questions box. Should have a question box. What's that here? Shit. I need to figure out how to scroll this and drag it. I mean, like this. Drag. Carousel. If this is similar. This one's a slider. This music's hella loud. Okay, yeah, I look, you do want something like this. We'll probably do this and then call it a day. Ah, they use swiper. Whoops. Swiper element. Oh. Oh, like I use a swiper. I don't think it does that either. Yeah, it looks like free mode. Which I would want to code this up myself. It already exists, you know? I don't mind. Oh, good. I don't need pagination. So I can keep going. That doesn't look like free mode actually. That wasn't it.
Hey Gooses, in today's episode we are gonna create a and that's that carousel here, and just the red part is the full-on big carousel. So inner carousel, outer carousel. So as you can see, I can just drag this along like that, and it's all fine and dandy. Okay, the problem is though there's no constraints, so I can just drag, and it's gonna go all the way to the end and blah. Okay, so what do we need to do? Well, we need to add constraints. So drag X, that's one, right? And then we need a drag constraints. Now, here it gets a bit tricky because we need to calculate like how much we need to go left and right. Because I can do right and say 0. That's obvious, right? So that's the max I want to go to. I don't want to go more than this because there's no content on this side. So there we go. So just add right 0. Now, it also has a little bounce animation to it, so that's nice. So once it gets dragged to the max, boom, look at that. That's pretty cool. Lovely. But on this side, it's a problem. Now, how do we fix this? Well, the thing is, it's quite tricky because you cannot just get the width of this whole thing, right? All the way to where the images stretch. Because if you do that, then you end up adding the constraint at the end of that. So it actually finishes there after the content is not showing up on the screen anymore. So I'm going to show you, but we're going to work our way around it. So if it doesn't make any sense, don't worry. I'm going to show you just now. So there we go. So right, congratulations in the comments. weld in 3 minutes. This looks 6 hours, but look, it's still cool. Wow. There we go. So we're gonna learn how to make this little slider animation. But before we get into that, I have a little announcement to make for you guys. Come here, you silly goose. We just got engaged. Woohoo! So right. There we go. So right, congratulations in the comments because we want nice messages. Okay, so let's get going. Let's build out. It's gonna be quite simple, actually. That's what I like to say to myself. Every 2 minutes I do something in React. This is fine. This is great. This is easy. What React to do is open up terminal and say npx create I prefer svelte. And then hit enter, and that's gonna generate your project with the folder name I prefer svelte. So in this case, I did framer drag. And after that, to actually open up the servers and to see it on the screen, you need to run npm start. So hit that, along the flow, hit that, and there we go. Takes a while to load up, so it's gonna give you a nice intro screen. So I'm gonna close this and open it up in Chrome. I need to change the default behavior of that. And there we go. Wow, super cool. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of clean everything up and start off fresh. So app.js, that's our main component, which we're gonna just empty out. So just grab everything in the header and over to React. And look at that, it updates here. Did you hear that voice? And installing. So actually, we need to close up the terminal and install one more thing, which is framer motion, which is probably one of the most popular animation libraries in React. Now again, to do this carousel, I mean, there are other packages out there, but I kind of wanted to explore kind of the dragging functionality a bit in framer motion, so that's why I did it this way. So let's close this up and hit close. Perfect. So all you need to do is say npm install framer motion, like that, and hit save. And then wait.
Okay.
And wait. And there we go. So then we're gonna run it again, npm start, to reopen this up. And it should be there. No, that's not it. That's Lightroom. Okay, close that up, and everything should still be the same. Okay, so just find a couple of pictures. We'll see if I'll be lazy or not to upload these on GitHub. But I just have a folder with 6 pictures of pixels. So let me show you actually the way I did it, because it's quite simple. I'm just gonna paste it here as assets, okay? All right, so here's what you need to do to get pictures the right way in your, just to make your life easier. So if you go to pixels, you can go to vertical, but you don't just want to click and download and click and download, because that's irresponsible. What you need to do is actually pick the size here. So if you go to custom and just enter 1280 by 1920, so that's going to give you a nice vertical 1080p image. That way, at least you know, you download all of these, it's going to be the same size, and you're not going to have weird problems with images in your codes. Okay, anyway, let's go back here. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this logo up here, get rid of that, perfect, lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to have basically just one component here, which is going to be our carousel. I mean, technically, should I do it like this? Okay, let's just add it here, because it's really not that much code. So I'm not even gonna make the component, but if you want to separate it later on, feel free to.
It's cool.
To do it. So here's what we're gonna do. So up at the top here, I'm gonna import motion, which is our little animation library from framer motion. Cool. I also gotta import these things called use ref, use effect, and use state. Now, if you don't know what they are, that's fine. I'll tell you all about it in just a bit. Just import them for now so we have them here. Okay, so the way basically this library works is you take any element, so whether it's a div, whether it's a h1, and you just pre-append motion on it, and that is gonna give you a bunch of little cool props to animate. So for example, on the h1 here, right? So if I just change this to motion.h1 and change this to motion.h1, then in here now I can use something called animate and a bunch of other cool functionality. So I can set this equal to and say x50, so like move it down or move it to the right by 50. So if we do a refresh here, as you can see, bloop, it slides. Let me accept.
Very cool.
Exaggerate the motion a little bit. I'll do 250, okay? That's safe. So let's head back here and check this out. Wow, wow, okay? So that's kind of the gist of it. Cool, but that's basic. We don't want basic, we want complex code. So what we're gonna do is essentially make a div here. I'm gonna call this motion. Ow. So let's call this motion div. All right, like that. I'm gonna give a class name to this. Class name, set this equal to carousel, like that. Cool. So that's all you need there. And in here, I'm gonna add another one. So motion.div. I'm gonna tell you why we need two in here, because it basically comes down to like how much you can drag the carousel around. So that's why we need two in here. But I'm gonna add background colors and everything, so it's very clear and easy to understand. So again, we're gonna give this a class name of inner carousel, like that. Okay, perfect. And that's pretty much it. That's all we need. What I want to do is actually just make a file, a JavaScript file, to add all the images so I can import them as an array. So the way you want to do it, because you don't want to go up here and do import image1 from // whatever it is, like /asset /1.jpg, right? So that's one, and then you'd have to do it like that, and that's not nice. You want one little import, one cute little import. So the way you can do that is I'm just gonna go here to the source, make a new file, and call it images.js. All right, and what you do is say import image1 here from /assets. Is that the correct folder? Let's see. Yeah, /assets /1.jpg. That's how I call them. Okay, I'm gonna copy this a couple more times. I just need to change here this to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we can go here as well and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then all you need to do is just do a little export default, and you can add an array here and just add them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. And done. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So now when you go back here and you do an import, so if I say import images from /images, and if I do a little console loggy log here and say images, well, that's gonna give you back an array, you silly. Inspect console. Oh yeah, this is what you want to see.
What the hell?
Cool. Cool.
It's weird.
Okay, so now that we have our images, well, guess what we can do? We can go here and do a little loopy loop around it. So we can loop over them, and then
let's see. Okay, well, let's try it. Check the div. Hey, that's not too bad.
add like another div called item, and we can just put the images in there, so we don't have to do image blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's a loopy loop. So curly brackets, and then you do images map, and then in here you say image, so that gives you the singular one. Okay, cool. And here you're gonna have to return some beautiful looking JSX. Don't we just love how JSX looks like? So clean, so clean. Okay, so here we're returning a motion div. All right, so I'll just add another motion div in here, close this sucker up, and in here we'll have our little image. And in the curly braces, we can just add the source of the image, all right? Because we're looping over each one, and we want to output one motion div with an image for every single image. So we're gonna give this a class, let's go over to motion div, give it a class name of item, and that'll be it. That'll do.
Why does it change to CSS?
Okay, what do we have? Shite. Okay, cool. So now let's add a little bit of CSS. I'm not gonna use modules, I'm not gonna use style components. We're gonna do it the simple way, okay? Which is global styles. Not preferred, but we're gonna do global styles. Wouldn't it be nice to just add a style in here and do your styling? Yes. Well, head over to Svelte. So let's go over to app CSS. I'm just gonna grab the H1 here. So do I have I don't even have the H1. Okay, never mind. I removed it. Get rid of that. What we're gonna do is grab the carousel. So this is the outer div, and we're not gonna do anything to it. Be patient, you silly goose. I'm gonna grab item, which is the image container. I'm gonna add a min height of 40 rem to it, and a width of, let's do 33%, and padding of 40 pixels. Okay, just a little bit of styling. It's still gonna be big like that, because I need to get the actual item image like that, and add a width of 100% to it, height of 100%, and box, and that's it. Let's see. There we go. All right. So essentially what we did was, this is the container for the image, and then we just set the image to match whatever the height here is and width. Let's change it to something else. 30 rem. Keep this consistent. Keep it the consistent size. Is that too small? No, that looks cute. That looks cute. Okay. So there we go. That's what we need there. And then let's add this pretty little border radius to it. There we go. And that's that. Cool. So now let's grab the inner carousel. All right, this is where all of our items are in. And add a little display flex. Cool. So that should put them vertically, horizontally. There we go. That's cool.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Now what I want to do, let me just add the background color to these. So go back here. So the inner carousel, right? Background, light blue. Come on, update. There we go. Now, if you remember, we also have a parent. So we have inner carousel. This is where we added background color blue. But we also have carousel on the outside. So let's grab that as well. Carousel. All right. And what we need to do for this one is, I'm just going to add a cursor grab to make it look grabbable like that. So that's cool. And what else I'm going to do is I'm going to add a overflow hidden to this. Because essentially what I want is for the parent div to like cut off here, right? That's not going to do it yet, which is all fine. What else I want to do is add a bit of margin to the page. So let's go over to and just do margin 20%. Very cool.
What the fuck?
All right, now
Wait,
these images look very stretched. They don't look nice, but it's okay. We're gonna fix them. So what I need to do actually here, let's go over to the width here. Let's add a min width of 30 RAM. And there we go.
Nice.
So now it, as you can see, it stretches out and it leaves the container. If I remove the overflow hidden from the carousel, you're gonna see what's going on. So as you can see, it overflows that way. Cool. So let's add it back. I'm also gonna add a background color of something else to the carousel. So let's go like Like a pinkish orangish color. Perfect. Safe. Okay, cool. So that's all sorted. So now we can hook up the function.
Motion.div. What if I had a motion div here? That work? Nice. Then perfect.
Functionality. We can add a little margin. I'm just gonna add a little margin on top and bottom just to bring this down a bit. Just because I don't have content. So let's do 10% there. Okay, there we go. That's much better. Cool. So here's what we need to do, my children.
What?
What we want to do is essentially add drag to this container here. So the inner container here. Because we want to keep this outer one not moving at all. And you want to only move the inner one, right? Because
should I like do this? And turn it all white. If I just had a div there, I would change it. It would. What the hell? Wait a minute. How's this even this color? What even is this color? With this? Wait. What the hell is going on? I guess that's slate, huh? Yeah, fair. Okay. Let's make this slate 300. Don't worry about this. I think that'll fix everything. It's too nested. Yeah, there we go. Set that to flex. So that gap 2. Yeah, maybe gap 4. Margin of 2. That seems a bit pointless. Okay, that's good.
the outer one is overflowing. Flowing, right? All the elements inside are overflowing. So when we move this inner container, well, it's gonna stop it from popping out on this side. So that's why we need 2 of them. So let me just show you. Once we hook this up a little bit, you're gonna see. So all you need to do is go to your inner carousel here and just add a drag to it. Now you can customize it. You can do X or Y or both. We just need X, which is left and right. So if I drag now I cannot do it on the images because it grabs the images. We can do like a little pointer events none on it if you want to. But there we go, that works. So let me just go back here. We can go over to, let's just go over to index CSS and add a, just do a little pointer events of none here, just so it goes true. So there we go. So now, yeah, I can just grab this. So as so it goes true. So there we go. So now, yeah, I can just grab this. So as you can see, the blue part represents our inner div, and the red part is the full-on big carousel. So inner carousel, outer carousel. So as you can see, I can just drag this along like that, and it's all fine and dandy. Okay, the problem is though there's no constraints, so I can just drag, and it's gonna go all the way to the end and blah. Okay, so what do we need to do? Well, we need to add constraints. So drag X, that's one, right? And then we need a drag constraints. Now here it gets a bit tricky because we need to calculate like how much we need to go left and right, because I can do right and say 0. That's obvious, right? So that's the max I want to go to. I don't want to go more than this because there's no content on this side. So there we go. So just add right 0. Now it also has a little bounce animation to it, so that's nice. So once it gets dragged to the max, boom, look at that. That's pretty. Pretty cool. Lovely. But on this side, it's a problem. Now, how do we fix this? Well, the thing is, it's quite tricky because you cannot just get the width of this whole thing, right? All the way to where the images stretch. Because if you do that, then you end up adding the constraint at the end of that. So it actually finishes there after the content is not showing up on the screen anymore. So I'm going to show you, but we're going to work our way around it. So if it doesn't make any sense, don't worry. I'm going to show you just now. So what we need to do is create a state, which is going to be our width that we need to scroll. Okay. So the way you do that is go up here, const, and in square brackets add width and set width. And set that equal to useState. And I'm going to start off with 0. Okay. So that's cool. Now what we need to do is grab the width of this, of the parent carousel, right? This one. Because the inner one is just the size of what we see on the screen, whereas the carousel itself is just overflowing, so it's actually much longer than that. Okay, so to grab that, what you need to do is use this useRef. So with useRef, you can actually just grab the element and get a bunch of info off of it. So if you want to get the width, if you want to, it's kind of like a query selector in JavaScript and vanilla JavaScript, if you will. So it's quite easy. You just say const carousel. So create a variable, set that equal to useRef. So this little method that we imported this little function. So what you need to do is just go to the element you want to grab and just add ref equal to and the name you gave it, which is carousel. Okay, and that's it. And this use effect basically can be used in a lot of different ways, but essentially if we just run a function like this and add an empty what is this, array, it basically runs when the component gets mounted on the screen. So when it renders out, this function is going to run. So what I want to do here is just do a little console log, and I'm just going to say carousel, okay, just to show you kind of what we get back from this. So if I go to inspect and just head over to console, okay, we have an error here with the unique prop. So I mean, just go here. We can just add the key of the actual source of the images. That's going to be fine. Just add that, and that's going to get rid of it. So here we go. So we get back an object with the current of div carousel. Cool. So to access it, again, we have to add .current here. Hit save, and there we go. We have our actual carousel. Cool. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So if I go here to elements, open up the, and just scroll this out. So if I scroll here, it's going to say translate 0. Okay, if I scroll, so we essentially want to stop it here, right? Which is around minus 2200 pixels.
Really terrible. Oh shit.
All right, but if I get the width of this, you're gonna see if I do a scroll width. All right, so that's gonna give you the full size of the width. It's 1100. All right, so that does not match up in any way. Or if I do, let's see, let me do a refresh of it actually. There we go. Let's open this up. App. Open this up. So scroll. So it ends, yeah, minus 2200 or so. And here we go. Now it's correct. I don't know why it showed up like that. I think I resized it. That's why. So it's 3300, right? So essentially, if you add that value to the constraint, that's going to be 3300. It's going to go all the way basically till the content is off screen like that. See? 3300. That's exactly off screen. So essentially what you want to do
Oh no. Oops.
Scroll here, it's going to say translate 0. Okay? If I scroll, so we essentially want to stop it here. All right, but if I get the, all right, so 100. Let's see, let me do a refresh of it actually. There we go. Let's open this up. App. Open this up. So scroll. So it ends, yeah, minus 2200 or so. And here we go. Now it's correct. I don't know why it showed up like that. I think I resized it. That's why. So it's 3300, right? So essentially, if you add that value to the constraint, that's going to be 3300. It's going to go all the way basically till the content is off screen like that. See? 3300. That's exactly off screen. So essentially what you want to do is grab that, which is fine, we did. So grab the full width of it, 3300. What was I saying? And deduct the size that's currently showing up on the screen, right? So the full width minus what's showing up on the screen, and then that's gonna give you the value that still basically needs to be dragged. All right, so I hope that kind of makes sense. So full width minus what's showing up on the screen is gonna give you what's left over. Okay, So the way you can do that is, so scroll width is going to give you the full one. And if you do carousel.current.offset width, so this is going to give you basically what's on the screen, the width of what's on the screen. So full one, 3,300, and 1,100 is what's showing up here. So now if you did a little subtraction here, a little minus minus, so this minus that, well, oh yeah, look at that. That's 2,700-ish or whatever it was that we needed to scroll. Well, oh yeah, look at that. That's 2,700-ish or whatever it was that we needed to scroll. So if you go all the way here, ugh, I lost it. Fuck. Okay. It was there, I promise. Here we go. So if I go there, open this up, and look at that, 2,200, whatever. Okay, cool. So now with that logic, what we can do is, since we have these two, we can go in here and set with, so we're setting the state, this piece of state that we have here, to carousel.current.scrollWidth minus carousel.current.offsetWidth. And that's gonna give us the final result. Cool, so now what we can do is just go down here. So we have a drag constraint right, and then we can just do a left, and we can add minus width because it needs to be minus. Otherwise it goes the other way around. So we just add our little state in there. We can remove this console log, we don't need it. And that's gonna do it, my children. That should work quite well. So let's do a refresh. Okay, drag this way, nice. Let's go drag that way, and look at that. That works just nice, perfect. How cool is that? Little slidey slide. Now one thing I want to do is when I hold down my mouse, I want this to look like it's grabbing it. Ooh, that's exciting. How do we do that? Easy. We go up here, while tap, set that equal to grabbing, and hit save. Let's go back and look at that. It's not doing it. Why is it not doing it? Grabbing. Cursor. Oh, I need to add cursor. I'm such a silly goose. Cursor, grabbing. Ah, and I need double curly brackets. Wow. Save. Is it grabbable? Look at that. It's grabbing it now. Cool. So now we can go back here, get rid of these RGBs, and we are done. Hit save. How easy was that? That's not what we said when we built out the project a couple of hours ago, but look at that. Looks fancy, doesn't it? You want to see it in Svelte? Because I built it out. You don't want to see it because then then you're not going to want to build it out in React anymore. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. We're engaged. Life is good. I'm going to order some fast food.